Monstrous Rage is banned, and woe is us! We in a lot of trouble! Heartfire Hero also banned. Can Mono Red actually survive with two of its key pieces getting banned? Well, I've been working for more than a week now since the ban, trying a lot of decks that lose, and I think I might have something that wins in Mono Red. Let's take a look. Welcome to the Attic. ManaDad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. Mono Red. Has it gone away? I don't think so. It's the number 8 most winning deck still, post-ban. And there were 2 separate challenges on MTG Online this weekend where Red finished 3rd and 4th respectively. So I've taken those 3rd and 4th place decks and kind of created an amalgam of what seems to be a winning Mono Red deck in this new meta. And this is what I've come up with. Burst Lightning doesn't go away. Greasewrench Goblin, this is one I had not been trying when I was building my own deck list, but this was in both of the winning deck lists from MTG Online from the big tournaments this weekend. 2-1 for 1 mana, already a great stat. 2 in a red, exhaust, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Lets you just trade those extra lands in. You get an extra +1/+1 counter on the creature. Really helps you keep you from running out of gas, and that's the idea. Hired Claw, of course, still 4 of. Monastery Swiftspear, still 4 of. I'm running 2 Torch the Towers. There are some decks that are running Bolt Waves, which is just the sorcery speed, 3 damage to face. I think there's a lot of stuff in this format that you want to exile and do it for cheap. That's why I'm going with Torch the Tower. Emberheart Challenger, still keeping this in. I was torn between doing Slickshot Show Off and doing Emberheart Challenger, but we still have somewhat of the mouse package, but now it's more of a lizard package. We've got Rockface Village, which target lizard, mouse, otter, or raccoon, gets +1/+0 and haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. So we can use that to trigger the Emberheart Challenger's Valiant ability. We can use it to give Hired Claw a little boost. Can't target the Goblin, can't target the Swiftspear. But here's the key piece that I was missing, and this is reprinted at Common in Foundations, in case you were wondering, why does it say M19? This is Viashino Pyromancer. This was a staple of Mono Red decks of the past, and I think its time may have come again. It's a 2-1, just deals 2 damage to face or to a Planeswalker right when it enters. Pretty useful, and happens to go nicely with the Rockface Village. Now, you'll notice, none of these decks seem to be running Manifold Mouse. Manifold Mouse, by collateral damage, I think has also been banned. You could try slotting a Manifold Mouse into this format. Only works with mice, so it would really only work with Emberheart Challenger, and I guess that's why people have kind of, not gone with it. Soulstone Sanctuary, it shouldn't be overlooked, can also be a mouse/lizard for Rockface Village. Then, for Screaming Nemesis, 2 Sunspine Links. We really don't want our opponents to be gaining life on us, and this seems to be the amounts that people are playing. This is a lot of 4-drops. We're up to 23 lands with this build, so it's quite a lot of 4-drops for a best of 1 aggro deck, and it's quite a lot of land for a best of 1 aggro deck. It might be that the optimal amount of land is fewer than 23, and the optimal amount of Sunspine Links could even be 0 for best of 1. But I'm basing this on some best of 3 lists. That's what we're going with for the time being. Also, to deal with big creatures, 4 damage, exile is pretty nice. 5 damage doesn't exile, but the reason I'm not playing the 2 mana, white dragon that also has the omen that deals 5 damage to a non-flying creature is because Oculus. Oculus is a flying creature. It's a 5/5. We really need to be able to hit that. And so I went with the 2 Witchstalker Frenzies. We at least have those to deal with Oculus. Otherwise, we're like attacking in, they block, and then we also have to Lightning Strike or Obliterating Bolt or Torch the Tower or something after the fact. Hopefully Torch the Tower or Obliterating Bolt to get that Oculus out of the graveyard so it's not coming back. So that is the deck. I think it's pretty straightforward. We've got 1 Tursa. Some of the deck lists have 2. Other than that, I don't really have a ton to say. I think this is just a deck we're going to take out to the ladder, and we're just going to see how it does. So if you like this kind of stuff, hit subscribe and all that stuff. Otherwise, let's see you when we see this deck in action.
Oh, beautiful, final fantasize for near mid slabs of chains, for purple hippos majesty above the city's plains. The gathering, bless Garfield's PhD, and crown thy good with cardboard hood from screen to scrying free.
This season of Independence, ManaDad reminds you that the true spirit of Magic accepts every player, even if they like Universes Beyond, even if they play Alchemy. Let's enjoy the gathering together, where it has been and where it is going. Subscribe to channels like this one that celebrate the best of Magic and toss clickbait into the ocean like milky British tea. ManaDad's videos feature authentic win rate stats and are funded by members and viewers like you, and also his kids' college fund, if we're being honest. God bless ManaDad, and God bless Magic the Gathering. Playing this deck on my free spells account where I don't put any money in. It cost me one rare wild card. I didn't have a single Tursa, so that's part of the reason I went with the one Tursa build. So let's see. We got a combination of old friends and new friends in this deck. Not in this hand though. It's all old friends in this hand. I think we could keep this. It's really heavy on the Emberheart Challengers. We have nothing to do on turn 1. But there's no guarantee we'll have anything to do on turn 1 anyway. And Roosevelt. President Roosevelt to you. Oh, okay. So we hit a 1-drop. That's good. Not hasty. And we have one piece of interaction. It might be a mono red mirror here. Okay, we've got an Emberheart Challenger. That is hasty. We could trade off now. And I think, in fact, we will. Because we should win the resource war here. We got one extra card. We got all these Emberheart Challengers. That hopefully with the Rockface Village we could eventually start drawing cards off of. They're going to channel Dragonfire. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's going to cost them some damage if they want to do anything about the Screaming Nemesis. They have a Screaming Nemesis. Okay. And can we win the race? They have 2 cards in hand. I'm not worried about this Channel Dragonfire. It's going to cost them a lot if they want to harmonize it. They have another Emberheart Challenger. And they can shock, which is an efficient way to remove our thing, but that is not enough. And we will be able to crack them back. Maybe they're thinking they're going to survive, but no, opponent will take the last damage to face, and that will be the ball game. Okay, about a perfect hand here. 2 lands. We're at least curving out 1-2. We got some interaction. Did we need it? Prophet's Eidetic Memory. And there's a question about holding up towards the tower, but I don't think it's... We just would rather add to the board. We've got Witch Doctor Frenzy towards the tower, Obliterating Bolt here. And And they'll be able to pump up that fear of missing out to being a 3-4. We'll get a draw. Let's try an Obliterating Bolt. It works, okay. Now we're attacking. They're down to 11. And we're holding up towards the tower, should we need it. The Sunspine Lynx will be devastating if we do actually play it. Tersa Light Shatter. Torch the Tower does not take care of that. I think we still, with Witchsucker Frenzy, can take care of it. Probably they don't have some kind of pump spell. And we've got 2 Torch the Towers. Alright, let's get our Frenzy on. They're going to into the Flood Maw. Guess that's okay. Take them down to 9. Pseudo 6 with the Sunspine Lynx. And they've got an Abrade. Winter Night Stories. They've got nothing to pump up with it. Lost the Marauding Mako. Yeah, let's just get the Sunspine Lynx. Take them down to 5. And if they want to bounce it, we'll just do it again. And there's a Vivi. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Vivi goes up to 4 toughness. And they can into the Flood Maw the Lynx, which means Vivi's at 5 toughness, which gets it out of the double Torch the Tower range. Now it's at 6 toughness. That is rough. Well, we'll knock him down to 1, and then it's just a matter of getting... Oh, and that was a punt, because we could have played the Rockface Village after it, not taking any damage. Alright, well, they're popping with Vivi. They can't bounce the Lynx again, though. Not unless they got a counterspell. They ditch a Voldaren Thrillseeker. And so now they can throw Vivi at us if they want. Still at 16, however. I think our worst case scenario... Oh, they tap Vivi. Interesting. I don't think they have the juice. Let's see if they think they have the juice. They ditch the Mako. They can sack Vivi to hit the Lynx. Okay, they have 2 mana now. They're playing a Fear of Missing Out. We can easily have 3 attackers, though, and they have 1 blocker. And I believe they're out of mana now. Have they used up Vivi's ability? Maybe not. Maybe they're not out of mana. Oh, they haven't. Okay. Tersa. Boy, these 2 torches are looking not great. We still have enough mana to double Emberheart and do 1 torch. So that would mean they get unfavorable blocks at least. Well, they're going face with it. Interesting. Are they just going out in a blaze of glory here? There's something I'm missing. They got a Marauding Mako. This has haste. They can make a big old Tersa. But doesn't have trample, does it? It has the ability to sacrifice, but they don't have any mana left. So I'll take out the Mako. And gotta give it up to opponent. They would have won. If not, for the power of Mono Red. Okay, it was in the middle of the game. My internet froze, or maybe it was Arena went down. Doesn't seem to have recorded a loss or a win, so we're just going to carry on. 3 lands. Guess we would prefer to see 2 lands usually, but seems like a good mix of creatures and spells. Question about whether to do Hired Claw first. I guess we'll go with Swift Spear. Something's going to eat removal. We'll make it the Swift Spear, and now we can actually do Pyromancer. Get our guaranteed 2 damage. Not gotten a cut down. Cut down is definitely shaping what can be played in the format. They're going to Deep Cavern Bat, probably taking Torch the Tower. Force us to spend 2 mana to remove the bat. Oh, okay. No, they took the creature. Interesting choice. I guess that does slow us down because we can't play it and Rockface Village. But we still do get the trigger, see, because this is a lizard. There's that Karsi Revenant. And that is one that it's basically an auto obliterating bolt. We do not want that coming back from the graveyard. In this case, we can Rockface Village. And we'll charge up. Doesn't really matter. Actually, maybe we were supposed to plus on that. That was a punt, I think.
He punts it. Could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history. I don't think I've been that excited for a punt.
Rest,
What a
so
punt.
we do get the Witchstalker Frenzy. That is a problem. So if I attack, they block, they remove one of our things, they go to 7. We can Emberheart Challenger. Can we deal 7 damage no matter what they block? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we cannot. We could offer the trade here with the Viashino Pyromancer. Oh, we essentially forced the block there. But maybe we were supposed to attack all. The Edict, we'll lose the Swift Spear, I guess. Luckily they don't have a creature to play that on. We'll lose the Hired Claw. And hitting a land is not great. Let's see. We flip over another creature, we can. The GGing. Bloodletter of Aquazats, but if we just Screaming Nemesis, we should have it in the bag. Boom! Take that, Mono Black. Up against the Collector. I'm gonna assume that's Japanese for Umori, the Collector. Okay. Couple 1-drops here. 3 lands is maybe too many lands in a mono red deck. But we are a 23 land mono red deck. We have a little bit of stuff to do with our mana if we get extra. I'll go with what should I go with? Hired Claw will be more damage based on this hand. Okay, we'll go torch the tower. Don't think we need it yet. And they can bounce the Emberheart Challenger if they want to give some tempo on us. Nope, they just opt. Okay, so potentially a VV deck. Torch the Tower does not deal with VV. And I hope to draw into something that can deal with a VV, should it arise. And Screaming Nemesis seems pretty good. Let's see if it eats a counterspell. Does not. Does eat a bounce spell. Okay, take another 4, opponent. You're down to 12. And here's where we could consider, instead of the Nemesis, that's possible they have a 3 mana or 2 mana counterspell that deals with the Nemesis. So we can do the Viashino. They had Phantom Interference, that's fine. And we'll continue to add to the board. And Smackaroon. What is this, mono blue control? Gonna be harder for them. There is the thing that bounces all creatures. Okay, Draycatcher. And Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I think we're gonna try to remove that Draycatcher. If they block the Hired Claw, it's gonna be a bit tricky because they can Agatha's Soul Cauldron and make it a 2/4. They do not do that. Go to 2. Okay, so they've successfully played around us pretty well. One of our creatures. They now have a 2/4 blocker, but we have gone pretty wide. They got stock up. We don't mind seeing that. And, oh, they did find a red mana, so they weren't. They're going to Burst Lightning on the Nemesis, and we'll just go back to their face. I'm not sure they know how Nemesis works, but that's okay. We get the win. Mono Red Aggro, is it gone? Or is it just rebuilding, in a rebuilding phase? Soon to rise again to the top of the meta. We shall see up against Raleigh. The mighty Yee. 4 lands and 3 1-drops. That's a difficult hand.
Yeah, well, sometimes nothing can be a real cool hand.
I'm gonna keep it. I don't think it's material that much different than if I did mulligan. We're up against a slow opponent, it looks like. We've got an Obliterating Bolt, so if they're a VV deck, we have a shot at them as long as they don't wait till they have 4 mana. Hold back Burst Lightning for now. They are a prowess deck. There's any number of 2-drops we'll probably want to save this to deal with. I'm just going for another tap land. Okay, so it's the Jeskai deck. So our goal is probably just to deal as much damage to them as possible. They may very well have board wipes. And there might be a case for saving this till we can spend 5 mana on it to deal 4 damage. That was the call that I made. And we'll go Lightning Strike to face. And if this Greasewrench Goblin survives, we'll probably pop it next turn. Are they deciding whether to exile our graveyard? Got him down to 9. Don't have a lot of ammunition in hand, though. Okay, well, they're not finding white mana. I'm a little less concerned about board wipes. Most board wipes are double white. They cracked the Soul Guide Lantern. They're drawing a card. That's probably a good sign. Ooh, Hired Claw. So now we have the choice. We could try to fire off Hired Claw, haste it with Rockface Village. I should have held the land back, or we could have popped Greasewrench Goblin. I guess we'll just go with, because we're not as worried about board wipes, we'll go with this. They're down to 3. They're going to need something, and they stock up. That's probably not going to be it. Even if they hit the Greasewrench Goblin with, you know, play a red source, bolt the Greasewrench Goblin, that's still 3 damage on board here. They're not even doing that. So, got him. Okay, so how do we do? 100% win rate. Obviously, big caveats there. This is my free spells account. We're in silver right now. We did face some meta decks, though. Beat the Cauldron, beat another mono red deck, beat mono black. I think it was more of a mono black discard than mono black demons, but that's still a deck you commonly see. So, really, the performance of this deck looked pretty good. Does it look as strong as mono red used to be? I would say absolutely not. On the other hand, it looks pretty good. It's all about maybe going up more Witchstalker Frenzies. Maybe more Tersa Light Shatters. I don't know. Maybe going down some lands, especially if you're playing at best of 1. I don't think we ever I know we didn't actually ever activate Soulstone Sanctuary. So that's it. There was one game where I got disconnected in the middle of the game. It didn't seem to have recorded it. We might have won that game. We might have lost that game. I don't know. It was just developing. So anyways, with these 5 games, the ones that got recorded here, 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes, and ranking right up, although the ranking graph is not showing for some reason right now. Anyways, if you love mono red, I'd say you don't have to weep or fear any longer. Mono red is still good, so enjoy it while you can. I've been ManaDad, reminding you Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.